Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Valpo Basketball Preview, along with head coach Matt Loddick. I'm Todd Eichow, and Matt, we take a look back at what was a very interesting week, starting with the great atmosphere at Kentucky. Obviously, a disappointing first 10 minutes of the game, but last 30 minutes, I think you certainly played well enough to hang with them. Unfortunately, it was way too big a mountain to overcome. And then that great win at Missouri State. Let's start with the Kentucky game.
You know, Kentucky, we knew it was going to be a tough environment going in. Very talented, though. I think it took us a while to really adjust to their transition. And they were just flying up the court on makes and misses, getting a lot of easy baskets. And once we adjusted, slowed down, really took our time, got good shots on the offensive end. I thought we were able to mitigate maybe their advantage in athleticism and speed. But it was quite an hill to overcome for sure.
I think if there was a silver lining in the game, it was the emergence of Jay Soroya, who played tremendously, especially in the second half. He had 7 offensive rebounds in the game, playing against some guys who will be NBA players, not one, but at least 2 potential NBA players in the next year or so. And I know you've been kind of waiting for him to step up his game because you've seen it in practice and you know it's there, and we saw it in Lexington.
No, absolutely. And my favorite Jay moment was at the end of the game. He had gotten to the free throw line pretty late, maybe less than a minute. Hit his first free throw and fist pumped. I mean, he was still into the game. He was just playing. He didn't care about the score. And that's what we've seen in practice. He just defends, he rebounds, doesn't care about offensive touches, but he is capable. And so Coach Gore's done a great job continuing to help him gain some confidence. And so we're expecting him to, not only continue to defend and rebound, but hopefully give us something on the offensive end.
And then it kind of carried over to Missouri State because, as it turned out, he ended up needing to play 30 minutes in the game and played the entire second half. And although the numbers weren't huge, he did everything pretty well in a game that ended up being a 3-point game.
I remember looking at the stat sheet at the end of the game and being just surprised. I thought he had a lot more rebounds. But, you can't, what doesn't show up on a stat sheet is maybe how many shots you change, how many good screens you set. And he was a very, very valuable member of our win there.
And he didn't force anything. It wasn't, he got the ball inside, and there was a minute to go in the game, and he could have forced the shot up, and he didn't, and he threw it back out. And although Lexus missed the shot there with a minute to go, you got a better shot than if Jay had forced it, panicking. And for a freshman, a lot of times the ball goes inside, it doesn't come back out. Grab an offensive rebound, doesn't go back out. He had 3 offensive rebounds, and all 3 times he kicked it back out and gave you guys an extra possession.
Yeah, no, I mean, one thing that maybe the Crusader faithful don't know is Jay's played at a really high level overseas. He's played on the Spanish national team, in the European Championship. So he's, used to big moments, used to playing in really high level talent. And, I think his patience was displayed for sure.
And Matt, before we get off Missouri State, what a really great emotional win that was. Short-handed, guys playing huge minutes.
Definitely.
Certainly, I'll say it, the whistles did not go your way for the most part of that game. I've actually looked back at the 5th foul for Shane Hammock 5 or 6 times. I still don't see it.
Okay.
But anyway, you guys persevered in that game, and it showed a lot of guts. And I think the veteranism of this team really showed.
No, absolutely. It's great having some seniors on the floor, some experience on the floor. Being able to go into a very tough environment against a very good team. And, whistle's going to come, whistle's going to go. We control what we can control. I thought we kept playing. Nick Davidson, being a senior, stepped up, gave us some huge minutes in that game, 6 assists, no turnovers. And so, again, just something to build on. We've got to always control what we can control. And the referees are not anything we can control, that's for sure.
All right, well, it's going to be good to be back at home on Saturday.
Absolutely.
You mentioned Nick Davidson. Is Nick Davidson in the rotation right now?
We take it week by week, but he's been practicing very well. He's been competing. And, one thing I know is I know what I'm going to get from Nick. And he's, proven that, he is valuable when he's in the game. And so he's going to get an opportunity.
Indiana State's a very solid team. They've lost a lot of tight games this year. The record could be better. They've had big wins. They've played a lot of games that have gone down to the final possession. One thing we know about them for sure is they'll bring in one of the more talented scorers we probably see at the Arc all year in Brenton Scott. How do you slow him down?
We're going to guard him with our entire team. We're talking about our game plan right now. He is a player that can beat you. There's no doubt about it. And so want to try to get the ball out of his hands as much as possible. Want to contest his jump shots. But, with a great player like that, you just try to make it tough because you know he's going to get some buckets.
Okay, on the other side, you've got a pretty talented scorer right now. Alec Peters, second in the nation in scoring. Game in, game out, you got to figure out ways to get him involved. But what is nice this year is he's finding ways to get points without you having to run play after play after play for him. And that shows his progression. And I think we saw that at the end of the game against Missouri State. He gets the ball. He's going to do it himself. You don't always have to run a set play for him. And that's the progression of where his game has gone.
No, absolutely. And Alec has, worked tirelessly, to be a better one-on-one player. It's been fantastic on the block this year. He's been fantastic on the perimeter. My favorite play of Alec, of the entire game at Missouri State was late in the first half. They were making a run. I think they were up 6, maybe 7 at this point. Ball got kicked out to him in the zone. He had a contested shot. He decided not to take it, passed it to John Kaiser, high post, a freshman. John Kaiser kicked it out to Devon for a wide open look that we buried. And so Alec, if he's going to be that willing to make passes, he's going to be that much tougher to defend because other guys are going to get wide open looks. And then late in the game, when other people are feeling good and they have to guard him, Alec can score on anyone one-on-one.
Well, we certainly have seen that, and hopefully we'll see more of that on Saturday. And good luck in what should be an outstanding game and a great atmosphere at the Arc on Saturday night.
Thank you, Todd.
For head coach Matt Loddick, this is Todd Eichel. Thanks for joining us on Valpo Basketball Preview.